Welcome to the live session. So today we are going to be discussing about CS Professional. So many students often ask us about CS Professional, and they say that CS Professional students are not getting enough videos or enough support. So today we have Abhishek. So Abhishek Bharadwaj is a teacher for more than 10 years, and also we are partners in AAA and Co. We have a company secretary firm, and Abhishek will be handling corporate restructuring, insolvency, liquidation, this subject which is there for CS Professional. So hello Abhishek, welcome to the live.
Hello, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, nice to have you here. So there are a lot of students who are in professional, and some of us have already joined now. So
Yeah,
CS Professional, we need to understand that this is not something very difficult or something which is impossible. It's just that it is little more practical and little more practice oriented as compared to executive and foundation, or what we call CSEET right now. So today's exercise is very, very simple for us to get an idea of the syllabus, because we are going to start live classes from August. That is for CS Professional. And already many of you have given your names and you have inquired about it. So that shows that you are interested, and we are happy that you have shown interest. And for you to get a clear idea about the syllabus and how these live classes will happen, we have this session today. So first of all, Abhishek, if you can share with us what is this subject in general? Why should a company secretary student study this, and why we have this in syllabus?
yeah. See, basically, this particular subject, as we all know the name, corporate restructuring, insolvency, liquidation, and winding up, is a very important subject in the career or profession of a company secretary as such. See, generally, what we will see in the executive program is the basics relating to the corporate law, because company secretaries basically specializes in the field of the corporate law. That is what we all know. But in corporate law, there are, basically like there are various events, the basics with respect to the company law we are going to study in the, executive program. But here in this particular topic, that is corporate restructuring and insolvency related laws, it is very clear, basically like if you look at a growth pattern of a company cannot always think of organic growth. Organic growth means, every day I will be, coming out with the building on the operations of the company, or I will be totally depending on doubling the operational revenues. If I only think of organic growth, I will not be, in a position to grow big. So there is another way of achieving the goals of the company, that is, inorganic growth. Inorganic growth means, basically if I have to say, like two companies will come together and then they want to, combine, they want to get merged, and then one company wants to acquire the business of another company, so that the growth perspective or the arena of growth will be too big. So that is the basic objective why, we will be specifically focusing on. Please note, in the profession of a company secretary as such, day in and day out will be looking at the corporate law compliances. In addition to that, if the company decides to go for an acquisition, or if the company decides to go for some sort of a restructuring activity to achieve their growth plans, considering whether they want to go for organic growth or inorganic growth in the business, necessarily company secretary should know how to achieve it. Because if the decision is being taken by the board of directors, the implementation part has to be necessarily taken care by the company secretary. So that is the reason why this subject is included in the professional program. Please note, we are not concentrating too much on the theoretical aspects. The company secretary professional program, if you pass this particular professional program, you will be called as a truly professional. So you should be in a position to basically like carry on the activity of this merger or the restructuring activity. So that is the basic expectation which is being set, and that is the importance of this particular topic in the career of a company secretary, is what I feel.
Okay. So now, usually in CS Professional, students always tell that this subject is difficult compared to other subjects. And I feel it is mainly because it is based on case laws and actual case studies. So how do you think, first of all, students should approach this subject? Should they simply stick to study material, or how do they get well versed with these real life happenings in the current scenario?
Yeah. See, this particular paper basically like it is more of a practical in nature, when compared to theory. That might be the reason why many of the students might be thinking it's really difficult. But I would say that if you look at the approach, yes, of course, study material is the basis to understand, what is going to be expected in the institute. In addition to that, practically looking at the scenarios is very, very important. So if you look at the objective of this particular study, the objective is very clearly mentioned that expert knowledge is required in this field. The approach towards study is, you should be aware of the law, you should study the provisions of the law, and you should be in a position to apply the provisions in the given scenario. So the application skills is very, very important. To understand the application skills better, you should ensure that you have the knowledge of the various cases which is being happening, or the scenarios, or the practical aspects which is happening. So if you are aware how practically it works, then only you will be able to attempt it in a very friendly manner. If you are not in a position to see how practically it works or how practically it gets implemented, just reading the book theoretically will be a problem. That is what I feel. So theory plus practice will help you to approach this particular subject in a very better way, is what I can understand.
So, in fact, one of our live students right now is asking Abhirami,
Yeah.
is the student, how to approach practical questions in this subject.
Yeah.
Will it be taught in the live class by Abhishek sir? That is the question.
Yes, definitely. That is how this particular subject has to be taken. First, we should be in a position to understand the basic provisions of law. Once the basic provisions of law is understood, then application is the next important stage. To understand the application part, we should be in a position to solve the practical questions which is being asked in the question paper. So that is how the scheme of study will be, and then that is how it is going to happen in the live sessions also.
Okay. Okay. So that is nice to know. And more people are joining us on the live session right now. So let us directly dive into this syllabus. So we have basically two parts, correct? So can you first tell us what are these two parts? Then we can go the chapter wise.
Yes, yes, yes. So basically, like the subject corporate restructuring, insolvency, liquidation, and winding up is totally for 100 marks, as you are aware. There are two parts. Part one is focusing on corporate restructuring, which is for 50 marks, and part two is basically relating to the insolvency, liquidation, and winding up related provisions. So corporate restructuring is for 50 marks. Insolvency, liquidation, and winding up is being allocated as 50 marks. That is how the syllabus is being framed by the institute. So if you look at in corporate restructuring, the overview, like if you look at our various videos, I have given, a lot of introduction related in our YouTube channel. You can basically look at it. And for insolvency related topics also, a couple of videos are available. This is how the scheme is being divided. 50 for corporate restructuring and 50 for insolvency related provisions.
Yeah, in fact, we have just given the links in the description. Also in the chat box, we have given the link. So Abhishek has already made, I think, 15 to 16 videos, which gives a clear understanding of all the concepts in brief, but covers the overview. And these are the videos which we have got very good response. So I would request you to first watch those videos, so you'll get a brief idea of each of the concepts in part A and part B. Now coming to part A, so please do watch it, and also we have a Google form. You can always fill it. So we have one question, Sobha Singh. Preparation for subject of CRVI is very, very time consuming. Yes, Shobha, it is time consuming, because end of the day, you are becoming an expert. Like just now, even Abhishek was mentioning, tomorrow in your role of CS, you may be in practice, you may be in employment, you are expected to carry out this activity, whether it is merger, amalgamation, demerger, anything, even if you want to wind up or anything related to IBC, this is expected out of you. So if you have to be ready for that, you must be ready to spend time and study right now. See, because the approach should not be just exam. Of course, you have exam, but you are becoming a professional. So it is time consuming. To save your time, we have the live classes, which is starting from August, and that is going to save your time and help you study in a quick manner. I have already enrolled for this course. I hope the session will help me a lot. Shakti Velan. Okay, nice to know that you already joined the course. We are happy that you have enrolled and paid the fees and joined. August we'll start, and this session we'll have a quick overview of the syllabus. So now, Abhishek, in part A, what do we discuss in types of corporate restructuring in brief, like in 1 minute, if you have to say?
So basically, the concept of compromises and arrangements is what we are going to, discuss in this particular first chapter. So what is this compromises and arrangements? See, compromises involves basically with respect to the creditors as well as the associations with the companies. Arrangements is something where there is involvement of the share capital. But in general, compromises and arrangements are the legal terminology which is used. Mergers and acquisitions are the common terminology which is used. So the introduction relating to various forms of mergers and acquisitions is what we're going to discuss in this particular first topic. Because mergers and acquisitions are very broad concept. There are various types of mergers. Amalgamations are also one of the things. You have demergers, slump sale, joint ventures, whatever it might be to achieve the inorganic growth of the company, whatever decisions is being taken, the various forms or what are the options available. That is what we are going to discuss in types of corporate restructuring.
Okay. And then we come to acquisition of company or business.
Yeah.
So here, in brief, what is it?
See, basically, there is a primary difference between mergers and acquisitions. In case of mergers, we will be looking at consolidation of enterprises. Consolidation of enterprises would mean that if there are two entities, only one entity will survive, or both the entities will club together, or a new enterprise will be formed. So that the end result will be only one organization will survive. Either it might be an existing organization or it might be a newly formed entity. But in case of acquisition, my objective is not consolidation of business. My objective is to ensure that I acquire control over another entity. So to ensure that I acquire control over another entity, either I can become a majority shareholder, or by entering into a shareholders agreement, I can control the board of directors. In case of acquisition, what happens is two entities will independently survive, but the control shifts from one person to another person. In case of merger, what happens is there will be consolidation of enterprises. So what are the various modes of acquisition? If I have to acquire a listed public company, what is the procedure to be followed? All that we are going to discuss in this chapter.
Okay, good. So we have one question here. One of you is asking till when this session will be. So see, we are not going to have this every day. So we'll start in August and we'll be having it like 2 or 3 times a week, and it'll be live classes. And when you miss the live class, the recorded version will be in our website or the Google Android app, right? So on the app, that is Ekcel Academy online, one app is there. In that app, you'll get it once you register for the course. And the classes will go until probably October end, because when we take such a big subject and we are doing 2 or 3 classes a week, we will be having that much time, and also that will help you to prepare in between. So in between, we may also give you like a week's break or 10 days break, where when we have finished few chapters and you can work on those chapters. We would have given you some assignment or something. You can work on that. That time your basics will be good, then we can restart. So what we are targeting is to have a real life classroom experience. See, the main problem with most of the video classes, it is one way communication. Some classes recorded and you watch it. I'm not saying that is bad, but that has a limitation. But in our classes, even for CACET, we have done live. Now for professional, we are starting live. It is going to make you feel you are in the classroom, just like a physical classroom. And you can ask the doubt to teacher, like how you are asking doubt in live session. That is the advantage. And teacher can respond immediately. So these are the advantages, and you will be preparing for your December exam. This August also, now exam itself is uncertain, so we don't want to comment on that. But till December, this course is for students who want to write in December 2020. You will be very well prepared. by these live classes and recorded classes together. So going further, Abhishek, we have planning and strategy as chapter number 3.
Yeah.
So again, to have a quick overview.
Yeah, see, in the first two chapters, what we would have, analyzed is the conceptual clarity between mergers and acquisitions. Once we are conceptually clear, then comes planning. If we want to implement that particular objective, we would have already chosen, what activity I want to carry on. So once that particular activity is chosen, we need to necessarily plan because it has to be very exactly implemented. So what are the strategies is what we are going to discuss. One important activity is the due diligence is what is going to happen. Okay. In case of this, basically with respect to, in case of planning, basic studies and then, how exactly, the structuring should happen, how the shareholding pattern should be, everything will be discussed. So basically it is what decision we would have taken, in what way we are going to achieve it. That plan we need to do. So what are the things to be kept in mind is what we are going to discuss in this particular chapter.
Yeah, that's great. So here there is one Sam. Sam is asking difference between organic, inorganic growth. So Sam, what I would request you is we don't want to repeat. Abhishek has already made like 16 videos on this. Also, the link is there in the description. You watch it. If you still have doubts, you can let us know. Then we have Abhirami. Will assessments be conducted? See, there's no assessment as such. When you're part of the live classes, we'll be giving you homeworks and all of that. That one you can read and you can do and you can understand. So mainly you'll get a group. You'll get a group of people who are also doing it. We'll have a Telegram group there. You can share your doubts with your other friends. It's an exclusive group. We already did this with direct tax, with GST, with CACET, and it's been very successful. So we just don't want to record something and sell. That is not our goal here. You should learn, you should pass the exam. That is why we are taking this extra effort of live classes, then Telegram group, then giving you a recorded version of the live class. All these benefits together you're going to get. 1 second, there's one more person here, Vandana Thakur. I want to join and tell me the fees also. So Vandana, you can visit our website. We have the link, and despite that, we also have the link in the description below. You can join it by that. And also, if you call our numbers, we have numbers. They'll give you a free counseling with all the features of the course and all. This live session is more about the syllabus and making sure you're comfortable with the teacher and understanding how we are going to do. Like I told you, it will be live, then you can watch recorded, then you're going to get a group, then you'll be having time gap between chapters, then you can discuss with your friends, you can ask live with the teacher. This is what we're doing. About how to join, registration, those formalities, you can get in touch with our office. The numbers, phone number, website link, everything is there in the description. I will also leave it for you for your reference over here. 1 second before we go further. Sir, the CRVI classes were going to start by July 20. So we were starting of July last week, but now we are starting August first week. Because as you know, there are a lot of coordination issues. That is the reason. So August first week, it is starting. Don't worry. That is nothing to worry. I request Ekcel Academy to start classes for paper for secretarial audit, compliance management, due diligence. So Shakti Velan, we are going to start that also. In fact, one of our teachers, Impana, has already made one video. You can watch that video. I think yesterday or day before we put that. So we'll be starting where our plan is to start for professional, all the subjects one by one we have to do, and we want to give quality. We just don't want to simply announce and not deliver, right? So please, you're already part of CRVI. That's what you told. So come be part of it, and slowly we'll start all the subjects. So next we have Anuja. Sir, CRVI we're going to, yes, okay, Kumar Swami. Are you taking secretarial audit also? So for old syllabus, we are not taking as of now, but there are many common things. Even for corporate restructuring, it will help you whether you're in old or new syllabus. I don't think you need to worry for that. Mode of teaching, Hindi or English? So Kumaraswamy, now what are we speaking in? We are speaking in English, and the classes will be in English. And right now, even the teacher Abhishek is speaking in English. So don't worry. All classes of Ekcel Academy are in English. In fact, Hindi we cannot teach. We just know Hindi. We don't know how to teach in Hindi. So don't worry about the medium of instruction. Last day to pay the fees. Abhirami. So Abhirami, we are starting the class on August 1st. So make sure you join before that. It is as simple as that. Yeah, sorry. So we'll just come back to the thing. So planning and strategy. Okay. The process of M&A transactions. What do we discuss here, Abhishek?
Yeah, basically, like once the planning is done, the implementation has to start. So
Yes.
for the implementation, what are the basic things we need to cut? See, the first important activity will be to analyze the risk associated with carrying on that particular activity. To analyze the risk, we carry on due diligence. So due diligence is the first step, which is going to happen in the process of mergers and acquisition, and followed by what are the important other steps we are going to give an introduction in this particular chapter.
Okay, good. So we are getting a brief overview. So in the brief overview, it is just for you to know what is there in the chapter and what is expected from you. That's all. In the live classes, we go into each and every detail which is there in the study material. Then Abhishek, we have a documentation relating to merger amalgamation. So here again, if you could share your views.
Yeah, this documentation will be like once we have already sketched the plan, the step plan, what are the activities that we need to carry on. We need to take approval from National Company Law Tribunal and other sectoral regulators. To ensure that we need to take the approval, there are various documentations which is required to be prepared. One important documentation is the scheme of the merger and acquisition, or the scheme of compromise or arrangement. So how to draft the scheme, that is what the first important thing. If you see drafting of the scheme, and then the notices, which has to go to the creditors, the notice which has to go to other sectoral regulators, all these things, what are the content of the scheme, everything we need to address it in detail, because once we clear the exams and then come into the practical scenario, we will be the people drafting the scheme. Inputs will be given by the board of directors, but we have to sit and draft the scheme. So we should have that kind of preparedness by reading this particular subject.
Okay. So next lesson we have is a valuation of business and assets, which is due for corporate restructuring.
So valuation plays a very important role. Whether it is merger or acquisition, I need to pay the consideration, because nobody will sell the business, free of cost. Businesses are built so that in future there is a value assigned to it so that they can make money. That is the basic objective of setting up a business. If I need to sell my business to someone else, or if I want to transfer my shares to someone, what is the price which is required to be paid? That plays a very crucial role. So to arrive at the price or the purchase price, what I'm going to pay, I need to conduct the valuation of the business, the assets, as well as the shares of the company. So this is what the overall valuation related aspects we need to see, and it is very, very important topic. And this is the key deciding factor in case of compromises and arrangements.
Okay, sure. So here we have one person, running notes, lesson roundup, hand notes. Are you providing? So Sabari Mohan, this is a primary problem which we have with the approach which students are taking. See, please understand, even now, if you observe from the day, from the starting of this video, we are telling tomorrow you have to assist companies in corporate restructuring. You have to draw the scheme. So please have a bigger vision. Please look at it in a wider angle. Don't say notes, gates, and all. Understanding concepts, understanding the case laws, understanding really how it works, what is the procedure, the conceptual clarity becomes most important. And that is what we focus here at Ekcel Academy. So this is what you're going to get. And once you get this, you really don't need anything else. One more common question I always get students ask, sir, which book to study? Why ICSI has sent from Delhi one fat book to your house? That is the book you should study. The problem is you don't get the concepts and you want notes, short notes. All this will not help you at all. It is just not going to help you. Please go deep into the subject and you'll get all the clarity. Once you get clarity, whether they ask you to write exam, whether they ask you to tell orally, whether they ask you only to teach that to somebody, you will be able to do. So please focus on getting the concepts absolutely perfect. And that is what we are focusing here at Ekcel Academy. And we'll give you every support, more than live classes and recorded classes and Telegram group and all your doubts. I don't think you need anything else. So that is what I can tell to Sabari Mohan. And please don't worry. You'll do really well if your concepts are right. So coming back to our syllabus, accounting in corporate restructuring, the concept of accounting treatment. So what is this, Abhishek?
See, basically, accounting treatment is very, very important because one company, will be existing and the other company will be going out, and the assets and liabilities of one company is being taken over by the another entity. The concepts are transferor company and transferee company. How to account it in the books of the transferor company? Transferor company is the company which is selling its business. Transferring company is which is buying. The company will be surviving. So how to treat it? The assets and liabilities which is being common. Please note for which it is being all standardized, and then we have accounting standard 14 and INDAS 103. So these two are standards which is being prescribed as to how the accounting treatment has to happen. So what are the methods of accounting, and depending on what type of mergers and acquisition we are doing. So there might be pooling of interest method, purchase method, like that. There are various methods of accounting which is being prescribed in the accounting standard. In detail, we have to study with respect to the treatment of assets and liabilities which is being taken over.
Okay. So now next we have, after accounting, the taxation and stamp duty aspects. So how does it play a crucial role in the practical scenario, and why we have this chapter? Can you explain?
See, the basic objective of going for mergers and acquisitions are tax saving. Please note, like if two entities has to come together, there are various ways of doing it. We need not do merger itself. I can take over the business of that particular entity, just buy the assets and then pay the liabilities and then close the other entity. Why I'm doing this merger and amalgamation? Because it will be considered as I will get one important tag that is called going concern. The going concern objective will be always remaining in this particular, the whole objective is to retain the status of going concern. So if I retain the status of going concern, I have lot of tax related advantages. And one important aspect, please note, you all might know that if assets is sold, the purchase consideration will be considered as capital gains, and then capital gain taxes has to be paid. Please note, if assets is being taken over by the transferee company from the transfer of company, it will not be treated as capital gains if I have taken the approval from the National Company Law Tribunal. So taxation aspect plays a very important role. So how we can save the taxes, whether I need to pay the stamp duty if the assets are being acquired. So like that, there are various advantages which is arising out of mergers and acquisitions is what we are going to discuss in this chapter 8.
Okay. So next we have a Computation Act. How is it relevant in this subject?
See, please note, Computation Act is something which is new, which has been common 2002 onwards. Prior to that, Computation Act never had a mention relating to mergers and amalgamations. In today's scenario, there are very huge entities which has grown. Take for example, Reliance and Tata's. They have performed so well in the Indian economy that they have grown to be big conglomerates. Conglomerates are there into all sorts of business. Say if these kind of entities are coming together, what will happen to the competition which is prevailing in the economy? The objective of Computation Act is to ensure that always there is healthy competition in the market. If I allow mergers and amalgamations of this big size, what is the impact over competition? Is what will be analyzed in this chapter. Please note, there is one organization called, it is a quasi-judicial body called Competition Commission of India. Apart from taking approval from National Company Law Tribunal, we need to go to Competition Commission of India also if we hit the prescribed, the threshold limits which is being prescribed in the Competition Act. So to ensure that my mergers and amalgamations are not hit by the competition law, I should ensure that I am not falling within the threshold limits. If I fall within the threshold limits which is being prescribed, in addition to National Company Law Tribunal, I have to take approval from NCLT also. That is what in detail we are going to discuss in this chapter.
Exactly. So this is what I want to draw attention to every student. See, this is the kind of value a practicing professional can bring. So a practicing company secretary who's been in practice and who's worked in industry, these are the kinds of insights and inputs you'll get, and that is the value add you're going to get in your classes. And that value add you will reflect in your answer sheet. That answer sheet is going to give you more marks than simply reading or learning from a teacher who's not in practice, or who's not been in industry, or who's only into teaching and things like that. So this is what I want to draw attention to all students, and not worry about small things, but when it is going to complete, or will you give notes. So those things are really not relevant. Your focus should be simple. By end of these classes, I should be well versed with CRVI. We can't say expert, because even people who are 20 years into this field, professionals, company secretaries, lawyers, they will tell we are still learning, because it is such a big ocean. Nobody can say we are expert. But at the same time, for exam purpose, at least you can be expert enough to get marks to do well. These are the value adds you get, just like now how Abhishek was telling when Computation Act came into picture and what happens. Now, in simple question, if I have to tell you, what if Flipkart and Amazon will merge? Simple.
Yeah.
It is possible, 100%. So it will be a complete monopoly and it will affect market. So these are the angles we need to look into. Now, going further, we have regulatory approvals and appearance before NCLT. So if you can just throw some light here.
Yeah. See, the adjudicating authority for giving approval for mergers and amalgamations are National Company Law Tribunal. So please note, first decision is the board of directors. They have to set the scheme, and then unless it is approved by the National Company Law Tribunal, the merger and amalgamation will not be given into effect. That is the most important activity. Please note, what we need to see here is, in addition to National Company Law Tribunal, what are other sectoral regulators which we need to approach for taking approvals. In the 9th chapter, we would have already discussed that if I'm falling within the threshold limits, I should take the approval from the Competition Commission of India. In addition to that, I need to take the approval from income tax, stock exchanges. You have SEBI, Reserve Bank of India. All these things are sectoral regulators. If you are a non-banking financial company, RBI is your sectoral regulator. If you are a stockbroker, then Securities and Exchange Board of India is your sectoral regulator. Apart from, you need to take the approval from registrar of companies. You have to take approval from official liquidator. If you are an insurance company, you have to take approval from IRDA. If you are a telecom company, you have to take approval from Telephone Regulatory Authority of India. Like that, there are various sectoral regulators. In addition to NCLT, we need to take the approval. And please note, the 11th chapter is very, very important, because we, being company secretaries, are allowed to appear before National Company Law Tribunal. So what are the etiquettes which is required to be followed while appearing before the National Company Law Tribunal? What are the important points to be taken into consideration? That is what we are going to study in chapter 11.
Okay. So now we have cross-border merger and fast-track merger. So if you can quickly give an overview, these are new concepts. So if you can tell why it even came into picture and what we study here, it will be helpful for students.
Yeah. See, if you see in question paper, they ask question like this, under Companies Act 1956, small companies were deferred from entering into mergers owing to the lengthy process. And the Companies Act 2013 provides a solution. Do you agree? Like that, they have asked us to commit. So please note, mergers and amalgamations, what we have seen till now, like sectoral regulators, all that is a lengthy process. But if for a small company, or for a, it's happening between a holding company and its wholly owned subsidiary, to ensure that, procedurally it is shortened, so that I'm giving some sort of a incentive, so that lesser procedures are followed when compared to bigger companies. This fast track mergers are introduced in Companies Act 2013. Please note, the bigger advantage in fast track mergers is, I will not be going to National Company Law Tribunal. I will take the approval from Registrar of Companies. I will take the approval from the regional director and the official liquidator. These three offices will give the approval. I will not go to the National Company Law Tribunal. So I get lot of procedural safeguards, in case of fast track mergers. Please note, in next one is cross-border mergers. We are in the globalized world. Many companies will have foreign investments, and then my company in India will be interested in investing another company which is there in another country. So if I want to acquire, basically with respect to the entities which is there abroad, then whether I need to follow the Indian law or I need to follow the law of that particular country. Where do I have to keep the median? What is the procedure which is applicable? That is what we are going to study in chapter 13. Please note, cross-border mergers are allowed, but what is the procedure applicable? That is what we are going to study in detail in this chapter.
Yeah. So like taking one point further from what Abhishek was saying, like this fast track merger, he gave example of wholly owned subsidiary and the holding company. See, these are practical problems which was there where the law did not provide a solution. This was widely prevalent where there was holding company and wholly owned subsidiary, and you're telling them you follow the same rules, same regulation, same procedure, same documentation, same forms for what two unknown entities are coming together. So these were what we can say as lacunas in the law, which did not give solution for the corporate world reality. So the reality of the corporate world, and the corporate world had this need, but there was no framework in law. Like this issues were there and they introduced this. So these are the practical things which Abhishek will be covering in the class, and I think we had a brief understanding of the syllabus as the whole, and that is good enough for this video. What we would invite you to do is very simple. First, watch the videos. We already have made 16 videos, and all these videos cover the concept in quite great depth. In fact, one or two students told these videos have everything which is there relating to that concept. Yes, but of course for exam that much is not sufficient. We need to go a little more in depth and understand the practical aspects of how it works in the real world, and what are the documentation involved, what are the procedural involved, what are the approvals. And we should always have a systems way of thinking. We can't think only CRVI, only insolvency, because how is it related to accounting, how is it related to business, how is it related to taxation, and how does it happen in my role as a CS? These things come into picture, and that is what we'll be covering in the live classes. So watch all the demo classes, first step. Second step, if you still want to know more, you can fill your name in the Google form. The link is also in the description box. So one of our team members will call you back and will give you a brief overview about when is the class, what is the price, when it is going to be, weekly how many we are going to do, and how you can join the group, and all these procedural issues they're going to explain to you. So that way you'll be very well poised to do well in the December exam. So some of you are asking, what about August? See, August exam itself is in doubt, and we can't cover such a big subject in a short time. So for whoever's writing in December, I think this is a great opportunity, whether you're writing in December 2020 or by any chance if you're writing in next June, this is a great opportunity to learn this subject and learn it from a practicing professional who will be helping you to understand the conceptual clarity. That is what we focus. See, any concept, if you know, you can reproduce it either in writing or whether it is oral or practically. If you have to do, you can do it. It's a matter of time. But getting concepts, I feel, and even we at Ekcel feel, should be your focus. And that is what we are doing in live classes. Again, in recorded classes, it could be some limitation. So live you attend. If you miss the session or you want to watch again, you didn't understand, recordings will be there along with your entire group of students who will join, and these are the benefits which you're going to get. So if you people have any more doubts or anything, you can let us know in this session. If not, like I told you, you can join us for further sessions. We'll also try and do some sessions on YouTube depending on the availability, and the classes will always be there. So if anybody has any questions, we are ready to take it in the chat box. If you don't have any questions, just make sure that you watch the demo videos, and if you are interested, you can fill your name and join for the CRVA classes. Abhishek, do you want to say anything else? Anything you want to add?
That's it. Basically, like practical approach. is the most important approach that is required to be followed, because expert knowledge is what is expected in this particular subject.
Correct.
But
Yeah, because if you see the first page of the book, they will tell
yeah,
expected knowledge. So you should be an expert. So like Abhishek was
the
telling, once
objective.
you finish professional, you should be like ready to actually do these activities which you study in this book. They are not expected to do everything. Of course, you may have a senior who will help you, you'll assist. All that is there. So that's how it should be there. So thank you everyone for uh, joining us. And we hope that you continue to be in touch with our channel. Make sure you subscribe and get all the updates of Ekcel Academy. So thanks a lot for joining, and we will be ending this live session. Thank you very much. Oh, 1 second. There are some... yeah, mock test we already have. We already have mock test. Mock test we already have. Many students have taken. Even corrections has been done, and they have got the result also. So you can enroll for mock test also. Kirtu Hari anytime. Again, get in touch with us. Mock test is there for CRVI. You do have that option. So that is what. So we won't be going to any more specifics, and we are going to end the session now. Thank you very much for joining, and all the best for your exam. We hope you join CRVI, and we'll see you in the classes. Thank you.